Hello, and welcome to my first video on my racing channel, Ala Racing Jugador. Exciting times, really. So yeah, I've been thinking about putting a race preview kind of video channel together for a number of years now, probably 5 or 6 years, and for one reason or another, never quite got around to it. I think there's quite a lot of content out there these days. Some of it's pretty good, some of it not so good, really, in my opinion. So I think before I go straight into recording videos for previewing races, I thought it would be useful to just give a bit of an introduction to myself, really, and just to give you guys who may be watching these videos an idea of what kind of content we'll be putting on the channel over the next few months. So I've been a keen, passionate horse racing fan now for probably 20-25 years, I would say. Started off watching it as a child with parents and grandchildren, and then developing into that through certainly through teenage years, and then into my early 20s and so on. So I would consider myself now a semi-pro punter. I have been for probably best part of a decade, if not a bit longer than that, really. I do work completely on my own. I'm a bit of a lone wolf in that respect. So it's all my own form, judge my own form analysis through watching videos, through studying the form, through following racing. I don't collaborate with anybody or have any contacts or have any inside information or anything like that. I do turn over a profit. I wouldn't say it's not the kind of profit that you could live off, but it is a profit nonetheless, and it's quite a good profit in that respect. But I think things like, I wouldn't be a pro gambler because my stakes are not scalable to the level that they would be required to be a pro gambler. I have far more losers than I have winners, which I think is the case with most people who do kind of any kind of level of sports betting on a serious basis or a semi-serious basis, whatever term you want to use for that. So in terms of the kind of content that's going to be put up on the channel, it's going to be with a focus on previewing the main action at a racing weekend here in the UK, the major midweek festivals, and also there may be other videos for midweek bits and bobs as well. If I've got a particular horse that I'm interested in, I may put a video up on that, and obviously people are free to follow that as they wish. In terms of my area of speciality, I would say it's flat racing. 95% of what I do is in flat racing. I'm probably in the minority on that these days. Jump racing is certainly the more popular of the two different codes at this moment in time. I have my own reasons as to why I believe that is the case. I think one of those reasons personally is because I think it is a lot easier than flat racing. I think flat racing has a lot more nuance to it, a lot more scope for different kind of theories that you can look at compared with jump racing, and I do think a lot of the rise of the popularity of jump racing and certainly the Cheltenham Festival is probably due to how it has become a bit of a favourites festival, to be totally honest. So it's dominated by Willie Mullins and the Irish at this moment in time, and then you've got your major English or UK-based trainers such as Nicky Henderson, Paul Nicholls, although he's not had too many winners there in recent years, who are basically fighting to pick up the odd 7 or 8 races across the week. So jump racing is not really my thing. I will do bits on jump racing in the jump season, but my main focus will be on the flat racing in the summer. It probably will then switch to the all-weather in the winter, but if there is something that's caught my eye over jumps, I will likely put a video together and some content on that. So that gives you a bit of a basic overall and insight into what kind of videos are going to be appearing on here. So as I said, it's all my own kind of form study. I may also do videos further down the line to give little insights into how I come about to make the decisions I make. I fully expect to turn a profit. I've been profitable now for the last probably 7 or 8 years running. I won't be updating P&Ls or anything like that on here. I do that in the background anyway. You get into very kind of messy kind of areas of business in my regard. Some people can get on at certain prices, some can't. So I compile my own odds when I study a race, and when I make up a recommendation video here on a horse that I fancy or I'm tipping, I'll probably recommend a minimum to maximum price range that I'd be interested in backing it at. I think that's the best way of doing it. Obviously, by all means, if anyone's following me, they're more than happy to, if they want to put together a P&L and mirror that over time, then obviously that's fine. But I kind of do a lot of that in the background anyway, and it might be a case of I might be putting a horse up at 7 or 8 to 1, and you might only be able to get 3 or 4 to 1 the following day, but that's out of my control. So yeah, I think we'll see how it goes over the next few months, really. So any questions or anything like that, by all means, put it in the comments box. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on any of the social media sites. I was on Twitter about 5 or 6 years ago. There's a good little horse racing community on Twitter, but I found it a bit of a distraction, if I'm honest. It was distracting me from really focusing and studying on the horse form, because you were getting involved in tittle tattle on Twitter, really, and commenting and waiting to kind of get back to people on there. So I just found it a distraction that I didn't need anymore, and I came off Twitter to really focus on the horse racing studying. So yeah, I think I'll probably be putting up a video for this weekend's action as my first video. As I say, I fully expect to turn a profit over time. I generally don't play at the front end of the market. So, I mean, as a very loose rule of thumb, I'd be surprised if I'm putting up many horses lower than, I would say, probably 11 to 4 or 5 to 2. That's generally as low as I think I would more than likely be tipping. And that isn't a purposeful kind of set target in my mind or anything like that. It's just, generally when I compile my odds, if I'm compiling the horse at 11 to 4 and he's opening up at 5 to 2, I still wouldn't back it. It's not, there's not enough juice in that price for me for what I'm looking for in the differential between my book and the sports book out there or bookmaker's book out there. So yeah, I mean, there probably will be a lot of each way content. There will also be win content, but we are talking what I deem to be value prices, based on something I've seen in the form book or something I've seen from watching this horse's videos. So yeah, I think we'll be talking more value prices. As I said, there will be more losers than winners, but the idea is over time and over the variance of that period, the higher price percentages that we're looking at will return a profit for us. So yeah, I think that probably would do now for the first video, but if anyone does want to know any more, as I say, put comments in the box. I'll try and get back to people as and when, and I would expect that we'll be looking at putting up our first kind of preview video in the next few days. Okay, thank you, bye.